alongside to Tony this morning. Tony Mancini this morning is District 13, Hamilton Plains St. Margaret's Councillor and Deputy Mayor Matt Whitman. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Rick.
And congrats to you as well on the election.
Thanks. Great to be back.
Yeah. 4,090 vote difference. So, no, that's how many votes you got.
I think that was the difference. No, I'm just kidding. That was the number of votes, and it was the District 13 had the highest voter turnout at 40.7%. We had the highest online votes, and the local councillor Matt Whitman had the highest number of votes out of anyone who ran the election.
Well, you know what? But it's because it was an interesting race.
It was a great race, and both myself and both my competitors pushed the online. My sign said vote online, her sign said vote online. And so, think, how do you get people to vote online? You put it in your literature, you put it on your website, you put it on your signs, vote online, vote online. It worked. We had huge turnout on election day, huge turnout in the advanced polls. People were engaged. Hats off to both my opponents who ran good campaigns, and very, very pleased the way things turned out in the end.
Let me ask you about the overall voter turnout in the city, which was at 31.7%, according to the official numbers now from the city's election office. Is that a concern for you? Should we be talking about ways to increase voter turnout? Or as some say, if people don't want to vote, that's their democratic right not to vote?
I think the answer is somewhere between those two sides. Why force people that don't want to be informed, that don't want to be engaged? You hear people say, I didn't even know there was an election on. Do I want someone to show up who has no idea there's even an election on, or what municipal government does, or what the province does? The more engagement, the better. But I think, unfortunately, some folks just don't want to tune in, don't want to be engaged. And why are we pushing for higher turnout if it's not going to be folks that actually give it in?
Well, and before we hear Tony's thoughts on this, you took to Twitter, you used social media perhaps more than most other councillors, and maybe that helped to generate some of the interest that saw a pretty decent voter turnout in District 13.
Yeah, I think so. Me and social media sort of live by the sword, die by the sword. I don't know if
you think?
I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm on there quite a bit. But one of the happiest stories or best things that turned out of this is that my social media isn't and wasn't an election issue. It isn't a job issue for me. I'm here to help HRM, all of HRM, because I'm a regional councillor. I want life to be better here. I want business to boom. I want our kids to work here, and that's what I'm about. And small issues like whether I block someone who I think is a jerk on Twitter did not turn out to be an election issue, and it's not an issue going forward. There's a new hashtag called Loved by Whitman, and anyone can use that if they want to tweet something positive about good things that are happening in the city. And my social media was not an election issue. What is how I did the last 4 years, how I represented, the phone calls I returned, the problems I fixed, and the teamwork that I was a part of with Mayor Mike Savage, Tony Mancini, and others. It's been a great 4 years. We're the second fastest growing economy in Canada. We're more livable, more accessible. We're healthier. We have more parkland. This is unprecedented growth in all of HRM, and I'm very pleased and proud to have been a part of it.
And I mentioned that, Tony, because